and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for the Patient Responsibility Estimation Training. Now to access the product, we'll select our Manage Patient tab at the top ribbon, and then we'll select the Patient Responsibility Estimation. From here you can see that we have 5 product options. Estimate Patient Responsibility, and this is where we'll run our actual estimation reports. Search for past estimates, and from here we can access the data from previous searches going back 6 months. Maintain reason for visit templates, and here you'll have the ability to create templates based on your most frequently used service line or service lines combinations. We have our run estimation reports, and these reports will show you various product usages. And finally, our edit patient responsibility estimation payer list. Now this is where you'll add or maintain your payers. We're going to start the training with setting up your payer lists. Now to do so, we'll select our Edit Patient Responsibility Estimation Payer List link. And from here you'll see that we have the payers grouped together by categories. Here's our Blue Cross Blue Shield, Commercial, Medicaid, Medicare, and finally Military. Now to select a payer, we'll select our category, and you'll see that there are boxes next to each of the payer's name. Simply put a check mark in the box next to the payer or payers that you wish to add, and then finally hit Save Payer List. If for any reason you wish to remove a payer from this list, you can also just unselect the box, hit the Save Payer List, and that payer will no longer be listed. Now occasionally you may select a payer that requires enrollment, and when this occurs you'll receive a message stating that this payer does require enrollment. Now there's nothing further your office needs to do. A request will be sent to our enrollment team and they'll process that request for you automatically. Now that we have populated our payer list, we're ready to run our first estimation. Now this is a great way to inform your patients of their responsibility and payment options at the time of service, and it'll go a long way to assisting with accurate payment collections or planning payment arrangements before bills become delinquent. Running your estimations at time of service can also help reduce rejections and denials once the claim is submitted. Your responses may also make you aware of any eligibility, coding, or billing issues prior to the services being rendered, allowing you plenty of time to research and correct the issue before the claim is submitted. To run an estimate, we'll select the Estimate Patient Responsibility link, and our first step is to select our payer. Now that we've chosen United Healthcare, this takes us to our Provider Information tab. We'll select today's date of service. We will select our provider. Now, if you don't see your provider or your office listed when you select these drop-down links, please select the Not Listed link. This will direct you to a form to complete that will get this information into the system. Now, finally, we'll select our office. And this now takes us to the patient information section. I'll go ahead and enter in our patient's date of birth, enter our gender, our patient's first and last name, Social Security numbers and group numbers are not normally required for eligibility checks. In the event that the patient cannot be verified with the required information, you can try to enter the Social Security number or group number to verify eligibility. Now let's go ahead and fix that and enter in a valid request. Next, we'll select our service type. And although this is an optional field, it is highly recommended to ensure that you receive as specific a response back from the payer as possible. Now, this takes us into the Services tab. From here, we can key in our data for our service lines. You could select the calendar drop-down menu and navigate that way. Or if you prefer, you can do freestanding type. Once our dates are in place, we will select our place of service, enter in our procedure code, modifiers, if any, our diagnosis code, our line item charges, and from here we would go ahead and hit Submit Request. Now you'll notice if we need additional lines, we have the Add New Line option. We can delete out existing lines. And then finally, we have our facility zip code requirement. Now, this field is vital. It's going to help determine if your region has any payer-specific requirements or responsibilities. Now, from here, we could select the Submit Request button, and we could run our estimation. Or, if your office has set up service code templates, we can select those to show you how fast this process could really be. Under the Reason for Visit category, we'll go ahead and select Acute. Under the service line type, we will go ahead and select UTI. And you'll notice that this has populated 3 service line fields, complete with our codes, procedure codes, diagnosis codes, our line item charges, and our units. All of the information is complete, and we would go ahead and hit Submit Request. This now takes us to our Estimate Patient Responsibility Response page. Here we can review our completed request. Now, the first section is our estimate totals. We have charges. This is the total charges for all the procedure codes on the service section of the estimate. We have allowed. This shows us the total expected payment due to the provider from both the payer and the patient. Now note, the allowed amount will be determined from the following, depending on your configuration: either historical remit data, provider-loaded fee schedules, government fee schedules, which are maintained by TPS, or a direct payer connection when it's available. Next, we have contracted adjustments or fee schedules. Here we show the discount on the allowed amount based on the provider's contract with the payer. Next, we have provider estimated payment. This number is the provider's contracted rate minus the patient's responsibility. Deductible. Based on the patient's health plan, this information comes from the 271 eligibility response back from the payer. Coinsurance. And now this number is based on the patient's health plan. It is the percentage owed after the deductible and out-of-pocket maximums have been met. Now this information also comes from the 271 eligibility response from the payer. We have our copay, which is the fixed amount for the particular services based on the patient's health plan, again, also determined by the 271 eligibility response back from the payer. And finally, our patient's adjustments. Any adjustment based on the health plan guidelines provided to us by the payers. Here we have our estimated patient balance, and this is the portion of the allowed amount that is to be paid to the provider from the patient. Now next, we can confirm the demographic data on our estimation. And this displays the payer the estimate was completed with, the provider data that was submitted, and finally the patient the request is for. We also display the requested demographics for tracking purposes: who submitted the request, when and how, the reference number linked to that request, as well as the status and the ICD version. We also have the service line information provided to us with a breakdown of the estimation by procedure code. From here, you can select the Print Patient Estimate button, and a PDF document will be open for printing purposes, allowing your office to provide documentation to your patients. Or you can create a new estimate. Finally, we have our service details. This tells us the fee schedule adjustment amount is the allowed amount based on the payer's response. Now, this area can help you troubleshoot any concerns with the allowed amount. Note, in the event that there is no procedure or payer data within your recent remit data, the line item will price to 100% of billed charges. Now that we've shown you how to add your payers and complete a patient estimation, you are ready to use the patient responsibility estimation product. But before we end this training, let's show you how to set up your template categories and service templates to save time, and we'll also show you how to run your estimation usage reports. From the Manage Patient Responsibility Estimation page, we'll select Maintain Reason for Visit Templates. From here, we have the ability to do the following tasks: create a Reason for Visit template, which allows us to create a new template, or retrieve a Reason for Visit template. This is where we'll search for existing templates. And finally, we have our Maintain Reason for Visit categories, and this is where we would generate new service categories to link our templates to. We will select Create a Reason for Visit template. From here, we'll start with our Reason for Visit name. We'll call this Test. Next, we'll select our categories. Now, we do have the option to select more than one, or we can create a new category. Simply click on the desired category, and if you wish to have more than one, use either the Control or the Shift key when selecting. And then once your selections are highlighted, you know that they've been chosen. And now to create a new category, we simply type in the name. Select Add Category, and we have our confirmation message. Category Test 2 has been successfully added. Now we enter our active date. We could either manually type in our date if we need it to be something other than the creation date, or we can use our drop-down menu. You also have the option of entering an inactive date as well. It is an optional choice, but it'll help you when you know a code will be discontinued. Templates with a past inactive date will not show as a viable option to select. You'll need to create a new template or modify the inactive template by removing or modifying the inactive date. Now we'll go ahead and enter in our service line information. And then if needed, we could select Add Additional Service Line. This would create another service line that we could add on to our template. In this case, we're just going to go ahead and select Save Template and our confirmation message. Now to maintain our categories, we can quickly select and then delete outdated or incorrect categories, such as here, we would simply hit the delete selected, or to create a new category, we type in the name and select Add Category. And as you can see, we now have Test 2, and Test 3. Finally, if we wish to delete a template, we go to the Retrieve a Reason for Visit template menu. And in this case, I'll select the reason for test. We'll go ahead and hit search. Now we confirm that this is the template that we want to delete, and then we simply hit the Select Delete template. We get our confirmation message, do we want to continue? And now our template has been removed. And again, for the Maintain Reason for Visit categories, to remove those categories as well, we simply hit the Delete Selected and Delete Selected. We have covered how to add payers, run a patient estimation, and create both template and group categories for your templates. The last step in the training is to show you how to run the estimation reports. From our main menu, we'll select the Run Estimation Report. We can start the search filter by searching dates of submission or by dates of service. Next, we select our date range. We can use either the drop-down menu, yesterday, this week, last week, month to date, or last month, or if we prefer, we can manually enter in our date range or utilize the calendar button. Then we'll select Create Report, and we now see our usage report. First off, we have the search criteria that we selected by, and on the usage report, you can track transactions completed, total charges, allowed amounts, provider estimated payments, patient responsibility, and finally, patient responsibility as a percentage of the allowed amount. Now, if we'd like to rerun this report, we could select the Modify Search Criteria link and make our adjustments before rerunning the report. This does conclude our patient responsibility estimation training. We do know that as you begin to use this product, you may require assistance or need to have questions answered. Our dedicated customer support team will be able to assist you if those situations occur. You can reach them at 800-556-2231, and they are available between the hours of 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.